Like I said, man, like I got inside information that Quincy don't really support Puffy like that. And Quincy really supporting his sisters and his brothers. I heard Quincy deep down, Quincy might not be saying, I heard Quincy deep down think Puffy did that to his mom.
And he adopted Quincy. There's nothing else you could do to a man to break him down than to take his woman and adopt his son.
Guys, Quincy Brown's emotional testimony in Diddy's federal trial has sent shockwaves through both the courtroom and the public. The once close bond between Quincy and his adoptive father is now unraveling under the weight of disturbing revelations, painting a picture of manipulation, emotional control, and unresolved trauma, and it's turning into one of the most damning accounts yet in the mounting case against Diddy. According to courtroom insiders, Quincy's testimony wasn't just a recounting of past events, it was a plea for truth and potentially for justice for his mother, Kim Porter, whose sudden 2018 death has long raised questions. While initially reported as pneumonia-related, her death has remained a point of suspicion for many, especially those close to her. Now, Quincy is reportedly cooperating with authorities to investigate Diddy's alleged involvement, suggesting that what was once brushed off as a tragedy may have had much darker undertones. I am telling you guys, you are not ready for the shocking things that Quincy allegedly spilt in court. So you better grab your seats, because this story I'm about to spill is going to leave you completely in shock.
He like little boys. Why was they so close? Why is he so close? Like that's his boyfriend instead of his daddy. It's just a lot of weird questions there. You know what I'm saying? A boy, nah, man. He's like he's protecting, more like he protecting his abuser. That's what Quincy give me. Quincy give me somebody that's in love with their abuser.
Now, ever since his mom passed away, Quincy has always been by Diddy's side. We are talking from social media videos to the red carpet. The two always seemed inseparable. However, a shocking new twist in Diddy's trial seems to show that we had it all wrong. Guys, it seems Quincy allegedly never really liked Diddy, and he was just forced to put on a show. All this was exposed after rumors of Quincy's alleged testimony in court leaked. Get this, Quincy didn't hold back. In his testimony, he reportedly described growing up under Diddy's roof as both lavish and traumatic, painting a portrait of a man who maintained tight control over the household, not just financially, but emotionally. He shared accounts of alleged isolation tactics, verbal manipulation, and a sense of living in a bubble where Diddy's word was law and dissent was met with silence or punishment. The most heartbreaking part of his testimony focused on his mother's death, with Quincy reportedly admitting he had long harbored doubts about the official story. While he stopped short of accusing Diddy outright, he made it clear that he believes key details were hidden, and that Diddy's behavior before and after Kim's passing didn't sit right with him or others close to the family. As federal investigators dig deeper into allegations of racketeering, sex trafficking, and intimidation tied to Diddy's empire, Quincy's decision to come forward marked a major turning point. Sources close to the case say Quincy is also working quietly behind the scenes to shield his younger twin sisters, Jesse and Delilah, from further exposure as the legal spotlight on their father intensifies. He's reportedly expressed fear for their well-being and a desire to protect them from the trauma he experienced growing up. This isn't just a family feud gone public. Quincy's testimony speaks to a larger, more troubling culture within the entertainment industry, one where power can mask abuse and image often overrides truth. The trial is rapidly evolving from a case about personal misconduct to a wider reckoning with decades of unchecked behavior and silence. And guys, Quincy's testimony wasn't just emotional, it was explosive. Not only did he reveal how Diddy allegedly viewed power and dominance within his household, but they also exposed a deeper culture of control that Quincy claims ruled his upbringing. But what truly turned heads was Quincy's recounting of the days leading up to the tragic death of his mother, Kim Porter, in 2018. Officially ruled as pneumonia-related, Kim's passing stunned the public and devastated her family. But Quincy says he never fully bought the story. He recalled unsettling changes in her demeanor, saying that there were moments his mom seemed scared and he couldn't make sense of it until much later. That single sentence shook the room. The implication that Kim Porter may have been living in fear and possibly under pressure in the days leading up to her sudden death. It was the first time Quincy had ever publicly questioned the official narrative, and it left a heavy silence hanging in the air. Now, amid Diddy's growing legal troubles and mounting allegations, multiple insiders have suggested that Quincy had been working with authorities not just to testify about Diddy's alleged abuse and manipulation, but potentially to help reopen questions about his mother's death. The testimony marked a turning point in the trial, not just because of what Quincy said, but because of what it represents, a shift in the narrative from silence and fear to truth and protection. Guys, Quincy's testimony didn't just shock the world, it has turned this whole drama into something far more than a legal proceeding. It's become a devastating expose of a fractured family, buried secrets, and a potential cover-up surrounding Kim Porter's death. And Quincy is at the center of it all. You see, for years, Diddy proudly presented himself as a father figure to Quincy, despite never legally adopting him. He raised Quincy as one of his own, often spotlighting him in family photos and red carpet appearances. But now, Quincy has now pulled back the curtain on that relationship, revealing a disturbing pattern of manipulation, emotional control, and calculated dominance. And he's not alone in these accusations. Albeit, sure, Quincy's biological father had been making claims of his own against Diddy. He's alleged that Diddy used Quincy as a pawn, leveraging the boy's loyalty to undermine Albie's role as a father. According to insiders, Diddy allegedly manipulated family dynamics, keeping Quincy dependent and emotionally tethered, while subtly pushing Al B. Sure out of the picture. But perhaps the most shocking claim from Al B. Sure is what he says happened before Kim Porter's death. He revealed that Kim had warned him to watch his back shortly before she died in 2018, a death that was officially ruled as pneumonia, but one that no one in her inner circle seems to believe. Al B. Sure stated bluntly, he absolutely does not believe she died of pneumonia. That statement alone would have made headlines, but coupled with Quincy's recent testimony, it's turned a tragic passing into a full-blown mystery.
I actually knew what they did to me. There was a bounty on my head, there was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes.
Now, federal investigators are now reportedly looking into it more seriously, with whispers that Quincy's cooperation may lead to the reopening of Kim Porter's case. Inside the courtroom, Quincy spoke of a home where public smiles hid private fear. He said that the smiles on red carpets often masked tension and fear at home. He then proceeded to detail Diddy's volatile temper, the unpredictable outbursts, and the way fear was used to maintain control behind closed doors. He painted a picture not of a loving stepfather, but of a man obsessed with power, someone who curated an image for cameras while sowing chaos and intimidation in private. Now, there are rumors swirling that Quincy may be placed under witness protection. His testimony is said to have been pivotal in triggering a deeper investigation into the circumstances surrounding his mother's death. With Kim having previously appeared healthy, and with those close to her reporting strange behavior in the days before she passed, many believe the official narrative doesn't hold water. What's even more disturbing is just how tightly this entire situation has been kept under wraps until now. The control Diddy allegedly exerted over his inner circle, including Quincy, appears to have created a culture of silence, one that Quincy is now bravely breaking. Anyways, as Diddy's trial continues to unravel, Quincy's deeply personal and emotional testimony has become a lightning rod, not just for the case at hand, but for a much bigger conversation about power, silence, and abuse in the entertainment industry. What makes Quincy's account so powerful is that it's no longer a lone voice in the dark. More witnesses are stepping forward, adding layers to an already disturbing picture. One former employee, identified only as Nia to protect her identity, gave chilling testimony alleging that she was assaulted by Diddy and witnessed multiple instances of violence against others while working within Diddy's inner circle. Her words were raw, heartbreaking, and horrifying, and they mirrored the same manipulative tactics Quincy described in his own childhood. And then there's Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, whose own history with Diddy has become central to the case. Her public lawsuit and now her contribution to this trial have laid bare years of emotional abuse, manipulation, and alleged violence. Cassie's story isn't just a backdrop, it's part of a consistent, disturbing pattern that's being outlined through every new witness. Together, these testimonies are forming a clear narrative, one of sustained coercion, control, and psychological warfare, all hidden behind the glossy facade of fame, wealth, and celebrity power. Legal experts are now saying that Quincy's testimony may carry the most emotional weight for the jury. He's not just a victim or a bystander, he's family. The image of Diddy as a loving, adoptive father figure is now unraveling before the court, replaced by a version where public smiles mask private pain. His statement resonated with people because it reflected what many have long suspected about the entertainment industry. The show often hides a much darker reality. This trial isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about the system that enabled him and others like him for decades. It's about an industry that rewards silence and punishes those who speak out. It's about the unspoken rules that have kept countless survivors quiet for fear of losing their careers, their safety, or even their lives. But now the silence is cracking. With each new testimony, the courtroom becomes less about one man and more about a reckoning, the kind the entertainment industry has long evaded. The bravery of people like Quincy, Nia, and Cassie is beginning to chip away at a culture built on control and impunity. And let's be clear, this trial is far from over. More witnesses are expected, more stories are waiting. And as the truth continues to rise, industry itself is being forced to look in the mirror. What's happening in that courtroom is more than legal drama. It's a long overdue exposure of the human cost of unchecked power. And while the headlines may focus on Diddy, the legacy of this trial will be written by the survivors who refuse to be silenced. So tell me what you think about this whole drama in the comments. And also, don't forget to check out our other stories so you can keep up to date with all the latest tea. Till next time, bye.